Shaolin, your grand uncle knows you're going through a tough time. I feel for you. A young girl all on your own. If you're willing, I can waive your rent right away. Get away from me. Oh, honey, weren't you away on a business trip? A business trip? So no one would interrupt your little fun, right? I'll deal with you when we get back. I don't care who started it. You are not living here anymore. Pack up and move out today. Excuse me, do you still have a room for rent? I'm very quiet. I won't bother you. Tenants are so polite these days, like talking to a ghost account. I wanted to ask, can the rent be paid monthly? I saw your listing said a 1-month deposit and 3 months rent up front. Monthly is fine. 1 month deposit, 1 month rent. Okay, thank you so much. Can I come over to take a look this afternoon? Sure. No. 17 Sakura Lane. Knock when you arrive. Don't ring the bell, it's broken. Excuse me, are you Mr. Liu? Liu? I am. You're the one looking to rent? Do you want to come in? Only then did she realize she was still standing in the rain, and she hurriedly stepped inside. She stumbled slightly over the threshold and froze awkwardly. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to. Don't be nervous. The doorframe doesn't feel pain. Come on in. I turned and walked inside, hearing hesitant footsteps behind me. After a few steps, I looked back. She was standing on the doormat, debating whether to take off her shoes. That pair of canvas shoes was completely soaked. No need to take them off, just walk right in. Only then did she follow me cautiously. 3rd floor. It used to be a storage room, just cleared out last month. Come in. This room gets the best natural light. Look, the window faces the cherry blossom tree. I stopped mid-sentence because when I turned around, I saw her eyes light up. She had been keeping her head down earlier, so I hadn't caught a good look at her face. Now she raised her head slightly, and a beam of light happened to fall on her face. Staring at the cherry blossom tree outside, the corners of her mouth curled up ever so slightly. What do you think? It's very nice. Rent is $1,000, 1 month deposit, 1 month rent. Let's get the rules straight first. No pets, no overnight guests. No loud noises after 10 p.m. Can you accept that? Her shoulders visibly stiffened. Could you do 800? As expected, price is the deciding factor. 850. I can't go any lower. Really? No, I'm lying. She choked on her words. Just kidding. 850, take it or leave it. Yes, that works. Thank you, Mr. Landlord. If you accept, let's sign the lease. Pay the deposit and 1st month's rent and give me your ID so I can register it. Her hands were shaking as she fumbled around her bag for her ID, taking a while to finally pull it out. I took the ID and glanced at it. Name, Wan Wan, 19 years old, local, Wan Wan. It's a pretty nice name. Can I move in today? Up to you. I don't have much luggage. That saves some trouble. Here are the keys. Go ahead and set things up. For dinner, I made an extra bowl of tomato and egg noodles. Maybe it's because I haven't gotten used to being a landlord yet. I didn't realize it until I scooped the noodles out. Shoot, subconsciously, I treated her like a guest and made an extra bowl. I carried the noodles up to the 3rd floor, stood at the door for a moment, and knocked. No response. I knocked twice more, still nothing. Just as I turned to leave, the door cracked open. A hand reached out from the gap. Taken aback, I handed over the bowl. The door slammed shut with a thud. From start to finish, I didn't even catch a glimpse of her. Hey, you could at least say thank you. The next day, when I went to clean the kitchen, I realized someone had already beaten me to it. The kitchen was cleaned spotlessly, and there was a note placed under the bowl. A line was written on it in pencil. Thank you for the noodles, they were delicious. I folded the note and slipped it into my apron pocket. Then I took 2 eggs out of the fridge and put them back in that bowl. This was our very first transaction. The next afternoon, I went to throw out the trash. The rain outside had stopped. The air smelled of the sweet scent of cherry blossoms and rain-washed soil. Holding the trash bag, I walked to the corner of the alley when I suddenly heard some commotion ahead. Oh, Lin Wan Wan, long time no see. I heard you dropped out. What's wrong? Too scared to go to college. We only played with you for 3 years. Did it really scare you this much? Move! What? Louder, I can't hear you. I said, please get out of my way. Oh, let's see what you've been drawing. Trees again, flowers again, sky again. Lin Wan Wan, you're still as boring as ever, but this one isn't bad. I actually quite like it. The next second, she slammed the drawing onto the ground. Then the 2nd, the 3rd, the 4th. The drawing paper scattered all over the floor. Lin Wan Wan let out a whimper like she was being choked. She twisted away from their grip and scrambled on the ground to gather her drawings. What's the point of drawing these? Who's gonna look at them? Exactly. Lin Wan Wan, you'd be better off giving us the money you used to buy drawing paper. Red Hair was about to speak when she suddenly heard footsteps. Blonde Hair also glanced back and quickly shouted, Let's go, someone's coming! Let's play with her next time. The 3 of them turned around to look at me simultaneously. I walked straight over and stepped right on the phone they had dropped on the ground. Who are you? I'm her landlord. You like bullying people, huh? Why don't you try bullying me? What do you want? Don't bother her ever again, or else don't blame me for making trouble for you. Conveniently, I've been pretty free lately. Red Hair wanted to say something, but Blonde Hair pulled her back. The phone, move your foot. I bent down and picked up the dirty drawings from the ground. Don't ever show your faces in this alley again. You hear me? The 3 girls looked at each other. Red Hair grabbed her phone in a rush, and they stumbled away, almost crashing into the trash can at the end of the alley. It's okay now, don't cry. Thank you. Then she lowered her head and continued picking up the drawings from the ground. I sighed, squatted down to help her pick them up, and noticed several drawings were dirty. One of them depicted the sky, with pink and purple evening glow spreading across the rice paper. The paint had bled from the muddy water, creating a peculiar blending effect. I noticed a small signature in the corner of the drawing paper. The last one was a sketch. I froze for a moment when I picked it up. It wasn't a landscape, but a person. Standing in the kitchen, wearing an apron, frying an egg. Though it was just a sketch with a few strokes, I recognized it. It was me. In the bottom right corner of the drawing paper, she signed another name, even smaller than the others. I turned the drawing over to cover it, pretending I didn't see. Here you go, it's very well drawn. Thank you, Mr. Landlord, I'll go back now. Clutching the drawing portfolio to her chest, she lowered her head and ran deep into the alley. I watched her figure disappear at the entrance of the alley, stood for a while, then bent down to pick up the remaining scraps of paper on the ground and threw them into the trash can. Back home, I sat at the table and stared blankly at the computer screen for a long time. On the screen was the code for a remote part-time project I took on a few days ago. The project manager had rushed me 3 times, and there was one line that I just couldn't fix. Now my mind was completely filled with that sketch, making me feel very frustrated. Since things have come to this, let's sleep first. The next morning, I was choked awake, not by the alarm clock, but by smoke, thick smoke. As soon as I opened my eyes, I saw light gray smoke drifting in from under the door seam, circling slowly, in the room. The air was filled with a burnt smell. Hard to tell what was burning, but definitely nothing good. My first reaction, it's a fire. My second reaction, damn. I flipped out of bed, rushed out of the bedroom barefoot, and found the living room filled with smoke. The source was the wide-open kitchen door. What? Are you trying to set my house on fire? Are you trying to set my house on fire? I'm sorry, I just thought, that bowl of noodles you made yesterday was delicious. I wanted to make breakfast to repay you. Repay? Are you trying to poison me? No, this was supposed to be an egg pancake, but the flour seemed a bit off. I turned off the water and looked back at her. She had a smudge of flour on her left brow bone, and a streak of black ash on her right cheek, stretching from the corner of her eye to her chin, looking like a little calico cat that had just crawled out of a stove. I couldn't help but laugh out loud. She froze. This was the first time she had seen me smile, and probably the first time I felt that staying mad was truly pointless. All right, let me see your hands. Did you get burned? No, I didn't. Really, I didn't. If not, why are you hiding them? Stretch your hands out. You call this not burned? She remained silent. I sighed, pulled a first aid kit from the living room, and squeezed a bit of ointment onto her fingers. Give me your hand. Her fingers trembled slightly in my palm, and her fingertips were icy cold. You're not allowed in the kitchen anymore. I hear you, but no buts. I'll make breakfast and dinner, and you'll be responsible for washing the dishes to offset 50 yuan of rent. But $8.50 was already very, very cheap. Are you going to wash them or not? Are you going to wash them or not? I'll wash them. Good, we're having egg fried rice for breakfast. Wait here, I'm sorry, it's charged to your account and deducted from next month's rent. That pot cost 120 when bought. With depreciation, let's call it 68. Thank you. I know about you deducting the rent. Yesterday, when you said $8.50, you purposely charged less. You think you have the lowest rent? The 200-pound guy upstairs pestered me for 3 days, and I held firm at 900 without dropping a penny. Don't you know your own situation? What are you giggling at? Go wait in the living room. Okay, thank you, Mr. Landlord. From then on, the kitchen became a strange place of agreement between us. I said she wasn't allowed in the kitchen, but I didn't say she couldn't stay at the door. Every afternoon around 5:30, when I put on my apron to wash rice and chop vegetables, she would run down from the 3rd floor and sit on a wooden chair at the kitchen door. I called that chair the supervisor's seat. She never came inside, just sat at the doorway, hugging her knees, quietly watching me cook. Occasionally, when I turned around, I would catch her gaze, and then she would quickly shift her eyes away, pretending she hadn't looked at anything. To be fair, she was a good audience. She wouldn't criticize my cooking, nor complain that I chopped vegetables too slowly, or used too much oil. Occasionally, when I added seasoning to the soup, she would stretch her neck slightly, curiously eyeing the jars and cans in my hand, but she never asked questions. She knew I didn't like people chattering beside me, though I had never said it. Once, I forgot to add salt to the soup and didn't even notice it myself. She had already quietly pushed the salt jar to the edge of the counter. The dining spot was at the low wooden table in the living room. I sat on the sofa, and she sat on the small stool opposite. For the first few days, she always held her bowl in silence, burying her face in it, using her chopsticks to poke at grains of rice one by one. Later, she began to steal glances at me, and eventually she even dared to curl the corners of her mouth when I told a lame joke. One day, Xu Xian gave his wife a hat. After Lady Whitesnake put it on, she died. Do you know why? Why? Because it was a duck-tongue cap. Peaked cap. A duck-tongue cap? Oh. I said your threshold for humor is way too low. Not at all, it's just that Mr. Landlord's expression was too funny. The dishwashing part after dinner was a strict discipline. She washed the dishes and I wiped the table. She washed very slowly, lathering up bubbles, and wiping each bowl carefully. more serious than conducting a chemistry experiment. After finishing all this, she would glance back at me, and that look meant, "Can I leave now?" "Go ahead," I would say every time. "Thank you for the hospitality." Without waiting for my response, she would run upstairs with a thud 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 sound right after saying this. After this routine repeated for 7 days, I began to look forward to dinner. Well, maybe it's just that I'm quite fond of eating. One evening, after she washed the dishes and went upstairs, I leaned on the sofa looking at my phone and scrolled to the moments she posted yesterday. She had just added me the day before. Her profile picture was a white cat, and there was only one photo in her moments. It was a picture she took of tonight's dishes, captioned with 3 words, "So happy." There were no likes or comments underneath. I stared at those 3 words for a long time, then threw the phone aside. I tilted my head back to look at the ceiling. Faint footsteps came from upstairs. It was her walking around in her room. This old house has poor soundproofing, so a few steps taken upstairs could be heard clearly downstairs. Usually she walked very slowly and lightly, as if afraid of disturbing me. Tonight her footsteps were more hurried, pacing back and forth several times. I found it a bit strange, but didn't think much of it. My mistake was not thinking much of it. Around 10 o'clock I suddenly heard a muffled thud from upstairs. It was the sound of a body hitting the wall, followed by a very faint, desperately suppressed sob. I grabbed my jacket and rushed upstairs. No one answered. I pressed my ear against the door and heard a frantic, rapid breathing sound, like a drowning person desperately gasping for oxygen after being pulled up. "What are you doing in there? Open the door!" I took a step back, kicked the door lock hard, and the door slammed against the wall and bounced back, which I held down with one hand. The lights were off in the room. Only the white light of a phone screen illuminated the ceiling. The screen was still lit, packed with rows of message notifications. She was curled up at the foot of the bed, her back tightly pressed against the wall, her knees tucked to her chest, shrinking herself into a tiny ball. I didn't dare touch her directly, but instinct told me the problem lay with the phone. Picking up the phone from the floor, the screen showed one private message notification after another. The content was a long string of screenshots and text. I turned off the phone, threw it aside, squatted down, carefully reached out, and gently touched her shoulder. She shrank back violently and let out a hoarse cry of terror. She didn't respond at all. These were symptoms of a panic attack. I had seen an article about this before. I desperately recalled the solutions from the article. "I'll help you. Hold her up. Let her lean against a stable surface and give her a safe, controllable environment. Don't leave her alone." I held her and sat on the edge of the bed, letting her lean in my arms. Her heart was beating as fast as an out-of-control motor. Thump, 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 beating wildly. I pulled over the blanket to cover her. "It's okay now, it's okay. Slow down your breathing. Follow me. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale." Maybe 10 minutes, maybe half an hour, or maybe longer. Her trembling body slowly relaxed. Her breathing gradually returned to a normal rhythm. Her tightly clenched fingers opened up. And she leaned limply in my arms like a string that had finally relaxed after being stretched to its limit. Then she cried. Not the suppressed, silent sobbing from earlier, but an outright loud cry. I held her tight, said nothing, just held her quietly, and kept patting her back. She cried, for a long time, until her voice grew hoarse, her breathing leveled out, and her body stopped shaking. Then she slowly pulled away from my embrace, wiped her tears with the back of her hand, and lowered her head, not daring to look at me. "Thank you. Have some water." She took the cup and took a sip. She choked slightly, coughed twice, took another sip, and then held the cup with both hands. With her eyes cast down, she fell silent. I picked up her phone, unlocked it, and clicked into the homepage of that user named Strawberry-Flavored Cornetto. The profile picture was pretty, but the content was sparse. Registered for 3 months, clearly a burner account. I clicked into the call-out post she made and read it carefully from beginning to end. The chat logs were incomplete, only showing what Lin Wan Wan said, and the order was scrambled. The most crucial parts of the conversation, the submission time, and the other party's confirmation of receipt were completely missing. I took screenshots and exited. "Wait for me a moment." She raised her head to look at me, her eyes red. I turned around, went downstairs, kicked open my bedroom door, and turned on my computer. I studied software engineering. Though I don't care to work as a programmer, tracking some network footprints is a piece of cake. At 2:17 a.m., I found the real IP address of Strawberry-Flavored Cornetto, linking it to identical accounts across 3 platforms. All accounts pointed to one location, a dormitory in a certain university town in the provincial capital. Then, following this IP, I found a boast post she made on another social platform. "Got a free profile. Picture today." In the comment section below, one of her friends asked how she got it for free. She replied, "Just ask for a refund after it's drawn. Since we didn't sign a contract anyway, she can't do anything to me." I took screenshots and recorded the screen. I restored her deleted chat history from the cache and made a clear comparison between her contradictory refund requests and her claims of not receiving a refund. A total of 21 pieces of evidence, with a crystal clear timeline and undeniable logical flaws. At 3:00 a.m., I compiled all the evidence into a long post, attached the original screenshots, and posted it online. At the same time, I sent private messages to the accounts that first forwarded the call-out post, as well as an independent media account that specializes in protecting artists' rights. By 4 a.m., strawberry-flavored cornetto came across my long post, panicked, and began deleting her posts. Too late. My post had already spread, and the comments section was blowing up. At 5 a.m., she issued a public apology. At 6 a.m., she transferred back the missing 80 yen avatar fee with the note, "I am sorry." I threw the phone aside, leaned back, and rubbed my aching eyes. Outside the window, dawn was breaking. Sparrows chirped in the cherry tree, and the morning light poured in through half the curtain, casting a pale golden beam on the floor. Faint footsteps came from the stairs. Lin Wan Wan walked in, her eyes still swollen. She looked at me, and I looked at her. We stayed quiet for a long time. "You didn't sleep?" "I did, but woke up after a bit." Her gaze fell on the dark circles under my eyes. "I've sorted everything out. You can see for yourself." She took the phone and scrolled for a bit, her finger pausing on the transfer page for several seconds. Then her eyes welled up again. "Don't cry, you have too many tears." She wiped her eyes with the back of her hand. "Why did you help me? I'm just your tenant." I stood up, walked to the kitchen door, tied on the apron. "We're having egg fried rice for breakfast. You still haven't answered me." I opened the fridge and took out 3 eggs. "It might be a bit salty." "Thank you." "Thank you, Mr. Landlord." "Next time someone bullies you, speak up. I'll speak up for you." After that day, Lin Wan Wan changed a little bit. It was very subtle. For instance, she no longer buried her face entirely in her bowl while eating. Do you know why flowers laugh? Because they have stems. Occasionally, when I told a corny joke, she would look up and smile. She now dared to hold eye contact with me for more than a second, though it usually ended with her flustering and knocking over her water cup. She also started humming softly while washing the dishes, soft and gentle tunes. Once I purposely stood at the door. Her humming faded completely, her ears blushing red. "Keep going, it sounds nice." She scrubbed the bowl until it squeaked, blurted out, "I'm washing dishes," and fled upstairs. Watching her, I popped a cherry into my mouth. Sweet. By mid-April, the old cherry blossom tree began to shed its flowers. Lin Wan Wan would squat by the yard picking up the clean, intact petals. "What are you gathering those for?" "To make bookmarks. Are you making that many because you actually read that many books?" "I can give you a few." "Well then, choose carefully." And so, while sweeping, I also began inspecting the petals on the ground. The next day, a laminated cherry blossom bookmark was under my mug, written next to it, "Thank you for Mr. Landlord's egg fried rice." I tucked it into a copy of Code Complete that I hadn't opened in 6 months. By the third weekend of April, I realized something. Lin Wan Wan had been here for 20 days, and she hadn't stepped outside once. She was like a bird locked in an open cage. She was just afraid. I decided to take her out. "Let's go to the wet market. Help me carry groceries." "The wet market?" "It's just 2 streets over, a 5-minute walk. At this hour, the old folks are done and the vendors are napping." She still stood at the kitchen door, hesitant and afraid to move. "I'll treat you to the roasted chestnuts at the entrance." Her eyes flickered. "Let's go. You can't stay indoors for the rest of your life. If you're really scared, you can hold onto the hem of my shirt." After 5 seconds of silence, she finally took that step forward. In truth, the market wasn't scary. The vegetable lady knew me and gave extra garlic. Lin Wan Wan followed behind, tightly clutching the shopping bag with her head down. Occasionally, she would be startled by a scooter and shrink behind my back. While I bargained, she quietly eyed a red butterfly-tail goldfish. Caught, she shook her head furiously. I spent 5 yen and bought 2 for her. She cradled the bag to her chest, smiling. "Thank you." "Don't mention it." On the way back, she proactively moved to walk right beside me. That evening, she put the goldfish in a jar. When I went up to deliver her duvet cover, I saw her sketching them with absolute focus. The tails looked like red smoke. She gave the drawing to me. She signed her name at the bottom, no longer a tiny shrinking signature, but 3 neat characters, Lin Wan Wan. In early May, one of her illustrations caught the eye of a publisher. It was the one of the courtyard, the setting sun, and a man wearing an apron. She posted it with a caption of just a single period, and it was shared 3,000 times. Then came the DM. "Hello, Teacher Lin. I am an editor from Yeming Publishing. We love your illustration. Would it be convenient to meet and discuss a full book?" She was thrilled, bounding down the stairs 3 steps at a time to show me. I took the phone and froze too. "They want you to draw an entire picture book?" She nodded frantically, tears of excitement welling up in her eyes. I suddenly scooped her up and spun her around. She let out a sharp gasp, flustered and grabbing my shoulders, her face flushing bright red. Cough. I set her down quickly. "Celebration! Extra dishes for dinner tonight." Blushing aside, she finished 3 bowls of rice with the sour cabbage fish, but just as I expected, the follow-up would be difficult. The editor scheduled a face-to-face meeting for Wednesday at a cafe. The moment Lin Wan Wan heard the word meat, she fell instantly silent. She didn't come down for dinner. I brought food up and knocked several times. When she finally opened the door, her eyes were red. She had been crying again. I'm scared. I'm scared to meet them. What if they think I'm no good? What if I freeze up and can't speak? What if... I sat down right next to her. Do you want to draw this picture book? She fell silent for a moment, then gave a somber nod. Then let's go. I'll go with you. She looked up at me, tears still glinting in her eyes. Aren't you afraid I'll embarrass you when the time comes? Embarrass me. You're the prettiest girl I've ever seen. Your drawings are beautiful. Sure, your cooking isn't great, but you wash dishes like a pro and your goldfish are plumper than an aquarium's. She froze. Realizing what I had just blurted out, I turned to stare out the window. Silence fell for about 10 seconds. Mr. Landlord. What? You said I'm the prettiest you've ever seen. Did I? You did. You misheard. I didn't. On the day we met the editor at the cafe, Lin Wan Wan wore a dress I had never seen before. If you dawdle any longer, we'll be late. I'm coming out. When she stepped around the corner, I completely dazed out. Do I look nice? You look beautiful. Let's go. The bus was a bit crowded, and she swayed as people jostled past. She instinctively grabbed my sleeve. I looked down at her hand, then gently pulled my sleeve away. She blinked, about to pull her hand back, when my fingers wrapped around hers. She went completely stiff. As the bus rumbled forward, rows of cherry blossom trees swept past the window. Neither of us said a word. But slowly, her tense, curled fingers relaxed. Bit by bit, she gently squeezed my hand back. Her palm was a little damp with sweat, a nervous trait entirely her own. The meeting went much smoother than expected. Though Lin Wan Wan blushed and stumbled over her words with her head down, the editor, a gentle, round-spectacled young woman, never interrupted once. Instead, whenever she stuttered, the editor kindly filled in the blanks for her. I went through the contract clauses line by line for her. Placing my hand over the back of hers to help steady her grip, she signed it. Lin Wan Wan. The strokes of her three-character name trembled slightly on the paper, but each line was neat and proper, just like the note she left on my first day. Stepping out of the cafe, she stood under a roadside cherry blossom tree. She suddenly spoke up. I stood beside her and lit a cigarette, a habit from my days in Beijing. I rarely smoked after coming back, but at that moment, I strangely felt like having one. Luze, thank you. It was the first time she hadn't called me Mr. Landlord. I stubbed out the cigarette. No need to thank me. It'll be like this from now on. You walk ahead, and I'll watch over you from behind. If you get tired, I'll carry you. She smiled again. This time it wasn't a fleeting smile, but a full one, her eyes curving into crescents, laughing away the tears she had held back so long. A chaotic early summer breeze swept from the alley, and the last cherry blossom petal landed on her hair. I reached out to brush it away. She lowered her head and gently leaned into my chest. It felt like a cherry blossom petal landing on water, weightless, yet sending ripples out that refused to fade. Standing there, my heartbeat drowned out the sound of the wind across the street. She took a step back, turned, and ran. After a few paces, she stopped and looked back. I want sweet and sour pork ribs for dinner, she shouted, then darted off, leaving me alone in the early summer dusk, standing rooted to the spot like a log. I touched my face. Man, it was sweet. I think I'm falling in love. The next day, I ran into the last people I wanted to see at the alley entrance. It was those three girls again, leaning against a utility pole. They stiffened when they saw me, then awkwardly looked down at their phones. I walked past. Later that night, the rain poured heavily, drumming against the roof tiles. Holding an umbrella, I sloshed through puddles, soaked halfway up my legs. Reaching the alley, I saw three shadows slip into my courtyard. I closed my broken umbrella at the entrance, propped it against the wall, cracked my knuckles, and walked right in. You bullied me for 3 years! Aren't you ever going to let me go? Lin Wan Wan stood there, gripping a large courtyard broom. Are you leaving or not? Oh? You want to hit us? Go ahead, hit me. That's intentional injury. I'll sue you for every penny you've got. I stepped in. Are you legally incompetent? This is breaking and entering. I have every right to remove you. Besides, you think a courtyard this big doesn't have security cameras? The leader froze. Let's go. She and her friends bolted out. I watched them flee from the gate. Take care now. If I see you three again, I won't mind taking you down to the station for tea. Up on the third floor, Lin Wan Wan let out a long breath. Close the window, you'll catch a cold in the rain. She didn't move. I sighed, turned, and walked into the house. The moment I stepped inside, a loud thumping of footsteps echoed down the stairs. She hadn't even put on shoes, running barefoot all the way from the third floor. It's okay now. Before I could finish, she slammed right into me. She hit me with enough force to make me stumble back half a step against the wall. Her fingers tightly gripped the clothes on my back, holding on for dear life. Through my damp shirt, her knuckles pressed hard against my spine. Thank you for saying you're my boyfriend. I placed my hand on the back of her head, gently stroking her damp hair. Once my heart rate settled, I spoke up with absolute earnestness. I meant what I said. Wait. Aren't you just saying that to drive them away? I won't hold you to it. Lin Wan Wan, I like you. What about you? That day at the kitchen door, you said I was the prettiest girl you've ever seen. Back then, you already... Can you please not bring that up? No. I like you too. Then from now on, your boyfriend can look after you completely out in the open.